Hi everyone. Today I'm out here in the woods and it's autumn and there's a lot of really nice fall colors. I'm tromping around through the brush and I thought that'd be a good opportunity to talk about the lens that I'm using to film a lot of it this year. That is a Sigma 18-35mm f1.8 art, and it produces absolutely lovely images. I've been using it for about a month and I figure I'm ready to review it. So let's check it out. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, 18 to 35 millimeters. That's not a very long focal range. And you'd be right, that's only a 2 times focal range. But keep in mind, this has an f1.8 constant aperture, something that you almost never see in zoom lenses. That's almost reserved for prime lenses. And that means you can shoot in really low light. You can get really good out of focus backgrounds. And you can do that throughout a short but fairly useful set of focal ranges in one lens. This is often called a bag of primes, compared to a bag of private primes. So you have like an 18mm prime, a 28mm prime, a 20mm prime, a 24mm prime, 35mm prime. You have all these primes in one lens, and that is incredibly useful. Now, let's go talk about some of the things we can shoot with this. I'm actually going to go take a picture of this tree right now. Here we have an absolutely beautiful maple tree. It has, you know, just gorgeous foliage, and it's a perfect subject to shoot with this lens. Believe it or not, this thing actually has decent macro capability. I mean, it's not like super close up. It's not a true macro lens, but it can do fairly well with close-up subjects, as we'll see here. We'll take a photo of these leaves, a nice clump right here, and that'll be beautiful. We'll take a look at that in a minute. And let's find another subject. Oh, here we go. It's lovely. It looks like a feather from a dove, and we're going to stick this here in this branch and get a photo of it with the lovely blurred out background, as that's one thing that f1.8 aperture is great for, is wonderful swirly smooth bokeh, and this is going to look lovely. Okay, now let's go take a look at the photos. Okay, now we can see that these photos are absolutely beautiful. Here's the one of just the leaves. Yeah, you can see beautiful details. The areas that are in focus are sharp, and areas that are out of focus are lovely and smooth with lots of bokeh. Gorgeous. And here's the photo of the feather. Again, sharp where it needs to be sharp, out of focus where it doesn't need to be, where it needs to be out of focus. Beautiful. I am always consistently happy with the images this thing produces of close-up subjects. And in general, it is very sharp. I love the details from this thing. There's very little in the way of aberrations, color fringing, that sort of thing. It is very sharp and very clean. There's a bit of barrel distortion, but that's to be expected with any wide-angle lens, and this thing handles it remarkably well for the extreme specifications that it has in it. Now, let's talk a little bit about autofocus and image stabilization. Autofocus is fairly good. It gets the job done. It's not lightning fast, but it's fast enough, and it's fairly accurate, and you can calibrate it if you need to with Sigma's USB dock. So, you know, in general, that's pretty good. Now, there is no image stabilization, and that's not really a good thing, but, you know, I haven't really missed it, honestly. I, in fact, shot a whole video a few weeks ago with this pretty much only this lens. No stabilization, no tripod, just walking around with it, holding it still, and then stabilizing and post-processing, and it worked pretty well. And I think this is partly because it's very well stabilized with this body. I mean, it's as in the weight works out. It balances really well. and it's got a bit of heft to it, so it's easier to hold steady. And yeah, I just got really good results, and I'm really impressed that I was able to do that without image stabilization. So yeah, I get sharp photos, good video. I don't miss this image stabilization with this lens, and that's great. Ooh. Grapes. A bit tart. Still tasty. Anyway, since we're talking about video, this is really one of the best lenses you can use for video, I think. I've done really well with it, such as the example I mentioned earlier, as well as in a recent review I did of the Mindshift Exposure 13 camera bag. It's a great lens if you're doing vlog style videos. You're standing in front of the camera like this. This is currently being filmed on a Canon kit lens, which isn't doing nearly as good a job as this would, because this would blow out the background really well. And that's just something you can't achieve with, you know, those darker apertures. And it also does a great job with the sharpness in video. And that's something you really want to look for. It's a little hard to achieve with some cheaper lenses. This thing is often known as the YouTuber's lens for that reason. A lot of YouTube creators use this lens, and it's kind of perfect for that purpose. If you're doing vlog style videos, travel videos, or just need a general purpose lens for video work, and you on an APS-C camera, this is really the lens for you. So, what better way to show off what this lens can do than with a bit of autumn B-roll? Those fall colors are going to look so beautiful at f1.8. It's just, the bokeh is going to be lovely. I guarantee it. So, for build quality, really can't be beat. It's a mostly metal and plastic composite design that feels really robust. It has some weight to it. It feels like a professional lens. I really have nothing to complain about in the build quality department. Feels fairly rugged, although it has a water sealing gasket on the back, although it's not really weatherproof. But in general, extremely good build quality. Very impressed, and yeah, feels great in the hand. So, takes great photos. It has amazing low light capability, and it does great alpha photos background thanks to its incredible f1.8 constant aperture. You must be thinking by now, this thing's got to cost a mint, but that's really one of the best parts, is that it doesn't. For what it has in it, it is relatively affordable. You'd be able to pick one up probably around $800. I got mine for like $650 on a really good sale, but yeah, even at its list price, this thing is a bargain. And now you might be saying that still sounds pretty steep, but it's not really. I mean, for the quality you're getting and for the features you're getting, it's really very worth it. Have no regrets about this lens. It's for the price, it's about the best there is. One of the best options there is. Now, one of the big points of this lens is that it's made to work with crop sensor cameras, like my Canon 80D, which I shoot on most of the time, or with Nikon's equivalent cameras. Anyway, what that means is that it's meant to achieve sort of like full-frame professional camera results on less expensive camera bodies with that crop sensor. And I think it really achieves this very well. You don't get a lot of super high quality lenses made for APS-C, for crop sensors, that are really made to do this. And I think it's just great. It does mean that you're shooting with a slightly longer lens than an actual 35mm equivalent 18-35. This is more like 28 to 50mm field of view, but you know, that's fine. That's a sort of a short wide to short tele, and that's a very useful focal range, especially for travel and for vlogging and videos, and yeah, I think it like really measures up to its goal of getting full frame results on a crop sensor camera, and that is really cool. So one great thing about that wide aperture and being able to blur out the backgrounds is when you're taking landscape photos of people in big landscapes. You want to show off the size of landscapes, but you also want to show off, you want to be able to focus on the people, and with this lens you can get a large portion of the landscape as well as people in it, and then have the background a little bit blurred out so the people stand out more, such as in this photo here. As you can see, the mountain is blurred out in the background and the people are sharp focus, and you can really focus on the people, the subject of the photo, but you also get in that big background, and that is really cool. So, in conclusion, this lens is awesome. Great build quality, great photo quality, and fairly compact form. I should also mention that it has an internal zoom so that no little piece comes in and out, which makes it actually a lot more rugged, so you don't get a lot of dust in there, and it also makes it more compatible with filters. The end doesn't rotate. That's really nice. Anyway, great build quality, great features, great image quality. I love this lens, and yeah, I can highly recommend it. It's even, I would say, an affordable lens for what it has in it. And yeah, thanks for watching. You can see the recent video I filmed with this lens right here. You can see a review of the Sigma 150 to 600mm wildlife lens, which I also love. And yeah, and you can also click this little button right above me to subscribe, and I'd really appreciate that. And thanks again for watching. I hope you found this review useful. If you have any questions about the lens, leave them in the comments below, and I usually answer all the comments below my videos. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!